trademarks. Let's get into, some things that we may actually talk about when it comes to visual artistry. So trademarks in general, there can be words, phrases, symbols, any of those types of things can be trademarked, and those are things that are directly connected to the goods and or services that you are providing to the public. So I'll get into some examples later, but I'll just kind of keep going. So the word trademark can refer to trademarks and service marks. So I know you guys have seen SMs and TMs, and people think, oh, that means it's registered. No, it doesn't. So let's kind of go over that. SM is a service mark. A service mark is connected to services. So say I'm a law firm. My law firm is Lamar Legal Group PLLC. If I trademark my business, then that's going to be my service mark, because for the most part, I provide services. I don't have many products. Now, if I wanted to expand and I started to, have my name on products, and I don't want anybody else to be able to have, use my name on products, then I would have to think about trademarks as they relate to the products themselves. A service mark is still a trademark now, but it's just a distinction. If you have a service mark, well, this person is providing services. So you can also have it where you have both, and I'll give you some examples. So say for instance, like I said, if I started to mass produce t-shirts and a certain design and things like that, then I would have trademarks as they relate to those products, but my service mark would still be my name. You know what I mean? So you have, do you guys know about makeup and things like that? Same things, Maybelline. Maybelline is their name. That's their service mark, that they don't want anybody else to have that name, but they also have under that all these different products, names for lipsticks that they don't want anybody else to use. They're related to the products. Then they will also trademark those things. And so we're going to go into why it's important to talk to an attorney, but that's one reason why it's important to talk to an attorney before you try to do something on your own, or you need to get with somebody and tell them, what is your plan? What's your plan for your business? What is it that you want to ultimately do? Do you want to stay in services? Do you want to just have products? Things like that. To give you an artistic view, Basquiat. Everybody knows Basquiat. Basquiat has trademarks. If you look them up on USPTO in the test search, it's going to pop up. They have Basquiat, which is the name, the service mark. They also have the logo, which is Basquiat with the crown. They have a multitude of categories. You have service categories and you have product categories. All of them are international classes. So it's important that when you're talking to someone about what it is that you want to trademark, that they have an idea. That's why when people come to me and say, well, how much is it to trade? Wait, I don't even know what you do. I don't want to just give you a quote because I don't know what you're doing. You may have products, you may end up having services. So those are just some things that you will want to think about if you are going to go out and try to seek a trademark or copyright, things like that. People need to know what it is that you do so that they can properly advise you. Let's talk about what a trademark doesn't mean, right? Domain names, DBAs, LLCs, those are not trademarks. Just because you have a DBA, just because you were able to get your domain name, that is not a trademark. You don't have any protections under federal law. So it's great that you were able to get it. That's wonderful, because that's going to be something that's connected to your business. Somebody will be able to look you up and it'll come up. That's great, but that's not the same as protection under federal law. Also, before you come to someone and say, send a cease and desist to this person, they're using my stuff, I need to stop it. Do you hold protections? Because if not, what are we doing? What am I sending a cease and desist for? Because you have to have some type of right. You have to hold some type of right before I can tell anybody not to use it. So that's another thing too that you have to think about. is whether or not you're registered and things like that. That's why it's so important to every now and then, as you grow, look at what you're doing. Am I doing something different now? Am I transitioning into another space? If so, it may be time for you to visit with an attorney to talk about that. What does that mean for your business? And everybody wants growth, right? You know, in some way. So I want people to understand that just because you didn't do something in the beginning, it doesn't mean that you can't do it, you know, after you start. Everybody doesn't need to be trademarked, and we're gonna get to that too. Everybody doesn't need to be copied. Yeah, you know, that's not the road that everybody is gonna have to take. So we'll talk a little bit more about that too.
What's the distinction between the rates you have to pay for trademark and say a patent compared to copyright, and the length of time that's granted you for that trademark or that patent?
Okay, so let me attack the question about how long.
Okay.
So like I said, when you're dealing with your patents, generally it's 20 years or the 14.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Because you essentially have a monopoly on that thing
Right.
for that amount of time, right?
Right.
So that's for that.
Okay.
Trademarking, I think you have to renew every 10 years.
5.
I'm sorry, 5. You're right. And so it used to be 10. 5.
What I have seen in trademark, because I have done it myself, a trademark. I was interested in a trademark. Now, the very first one that I submitted, there was no problem. It's there. The only thing with trademark is you have to renew it every couple of years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Rich man's copyright, okay?
Well, okay. So I think you asked a question about how much money. So they just actually went up on
Again?
Yes, again, because I think it was within a couple of years they've gone up twice. So they're subject. I think that the beginning of next year or towards the end of this year, they're going to go up on the application fees. Because I think they're right around 300, but there are 3 different types of applications that you can submit to, and a lot of people don't know that too. You have short form, and you have 2 of the longer forms, and depending on what type of business you have or what it is that you're doing is going to determine which one of those applications that you should submit when it comes to the trademarking process.